From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
Rosy Casas is a broker with Libertad Real Estate in Indianapolis, a firm that specializes in companies and people that require multilingual representation. Creditworthiness may not be a term you're currently familiar with, but you'll need to know because for a lender, it can make all the difference in deciding whether you'll get a loan or not. Coming up next on Business, Equity, and Opportunities, we share another great success story. This one features a local CEO who was recently named one of the top 100 for diversity. Stay with us.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
we begin where we do every week, the segment we call Getting Started. Each week we focus on different aspects of the planning process for a new business. This week we're talking to those of you who are including a brick and mortar location, a real place for your business plan. You probably figured out it can be a complicated process, especially when entrepreneurs' first language is not English. We found a company that's bridging the gap for those business owners to help them find their own pathway to success.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting Started.
Rosy Casas is a broker with Libertad Real Estate in Indianapolis, a firm that specializes in companies and people that require multilingual representation.
So the first thing they do is they contact me. Most of the time they don't know what they're doing. They don't know where to go or who to talk to, and they just know that they have the idea to start a business, and I just sit with them, I talk to them, and I just get the information about what kind of business they want to start. And I guide them through the process of from the finding the name, tell them all the spaces available around the area that they want to be at. And I just try to direct them to the right people if they need a loan or if they have their own finances in place. And the more information I get from them, then the more I can help them to start that business. And I've had the privilege of helping people as well that they had their own restaurant and they want to open a second location, and they just need me to be like the conduit of communication and knowledge between them and landlords and all the people that is involved in a transaction. I represent mostly the people that are Hispanic because they can relate to me. I come from Mexico, so I know what it is like to come to this country and not knowing the language, not knowing who to talk to, so they can relate to me. So my clients are clients that trust me because of that. I do a lot of videos for them. I use a lot of social media to communicate with them, so they trust me because of that, and they know that I get what they're looking for and I get the challenges that they face every time, even though they have sometimes the finances, like I said, or everything in place, but they don't know how to go and communicate with the right people to accomplish what they want to do. First of all, most of them is the language barrier. That's the first thing. And all the terminology, and especially when you are talking about business or purchasing a house, because I represent buyers a lot. I work with buyers, most of them. And it's a big challenge, the first thing. And then trying to find a way to get financing in case that they cannot get a traditional loan. And that's why I love working here at Libertad Real Estate, because we're very creative with it. And we always find a way to help them. So it's just a matter of trying to understand, first of all, what they're looking for, and then where they want to live at or what they want to do, and then we can create a program for them or the tools that they need. But the biggest challenge, first of all, is the language. Some of them, they are previous owners of businesses in their countries, so they come here and they don't know the rules, they don't know the laws, they don't know that there's a different process. So it's challenging because we have to teach them from the very beginning so they can be successful. And even though sometimes they have the knowledge, we just have to help them to go through those obstacles and just to be successful in their business. It is amazing when I see them when they open up their business. I just remember this particular case of somebody who started a restaurant, and he started from the very beginning. Like, he just had the place to start it, but he didn't have like the kitchen or the furniture or nothing like that. And I saw that progress, and then at the end, when I saw like the product, everything that he did, it was just amazing to see him grow and to see that the restaurant was actually very successful, and it was a very successful business, and it became very important for him and his family, and that was something that I had the opportunity to witness. And it's just amazing to see that somebody that is just like me coming here, not knowing, like I said, the language, not knowing what to do, and just having something to support our families. He actually moved back to Mexico, but he sold his restaurant and to these other owners that are very successful at it, and they have more restaurants, so it became part of it. So it was kind of the heritage that he left for other people to come and take over. That they also support other businesses, and they also support like other causes, or I don't know, probably charity or things like that. They are big supporters of that, and I know that because many of them are my friends and friends of my family. So they're part of the community. It's not that they're trying to do something like isolated from everybody else and just trying to do their own thing, or not caring about everybody else or the other businesses or other communities. They are involved in it. So it's they cover like different areas, and it's just not about the money, and it's not just about accomplishing their dream. It's about being part of the community. That's what it is like.
Every new business owner faces the money question, how to access capital. There are many options for entrepreneurs, but finding the one that fits your needs can take a while and be difficult. Each week in this segment, we offer some options to consider, from the tried, true, and traditional to those that are compelling but a little less conventional.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Small business owners have allies in the nonprofit sector who address topics like financial literacy and wealth building. The African American Legacy Fund of Indianapolis, a major fund of Central Indiana Community Foundation, recently announced a $100,000 grant to address wealth building activities in the local black community. Marshawn Woolley is the project manager working directly with AALFI President Kiana Davis.
So the African American Legacy Fund was officially launched in, I believe it's 2020, right on the cuff of the pandemic. And it was really started as an initiative to bring some community-minded folks together in the African-American community to say, what if we pulled our resources together in a philanthropic manner and at least try to solve some of the pressing issues in our community. And so with that initiative, we brought together a few of our colleagues, people we knew that were in the community, and said, hey, why don't you become a founding member of the African American Legacy Fund, which we call ALFI for short, to donate $2,000 apiece. And we were looking for 100 people to do that in the black community. And we reached that goal initially, and then from there we had some matching funds that came in. We've done some fundraisers, but really a fund that's targeted to be raised by black people in Indianapolis for organizations that serve black people who are led by black people and who are governed from a majority perspective by black people.
According to the Association of Black Foundation Executives, less than 4% of dollars go to black-led organizations. And so we really have an opportunity to define what philanthropy looks like in our community. And so we've done some different things already. First was the Every Dollar Has Dignity campaign, which allowed for folks who may not have been able to meet the initial give threshold to also participate by providing any dollar amount that they felt was meaningful to them, but also impactful to us. And so we did a campaign to talk about the importance of getting vaccinated. It was called Let's Stay Together, and we leveraged black media to make sure that our community understood the importance of getting vaccinated. And that's something you could do different with philanthropy. It wasn't a program, it was a campaign. ALFI is really composed of two programs. One is the endowment, which is meant to grow grow over time with a goal of reaching $10 million. The second piece is the Giving Circle, which consists of our over 100 donors who come together to decide what we should do with roughly $100,000 that we'll have this year. And we came up with two concepts. Our wealth creation concept deals with developing individual development accounts and making sure that 7th through 8th graders have the opportunity to have an account and to get a chance to think about their future. We also want to see a 2-generation approach where you're teaching financial literacy to the young people, but then also the parents. We want to track that over time. I like to think of it as our baby bonds program. We have another program where it's really focused on wealth preservation, and that's really looking at housing strategies, and it's targeted at anti-gentrification. So we're looking for communities where there's been an increase of at least 10% in housing values inside of a year. Hopefully we'll get some support from folks. The deadline is October 15th. We've partnered with the leadership team to develop an application process. We're looking for 501c3 organizations or organizations that can support 501c3s that will either be able to manage a fund that deals with individual development accounts or manages a fund that deals with housing strategies as outlined in the RFP. We want to make sure that folks focus on one strategy or the other. We don't want them to mix them because we are trying to be very intentional about understanding impact. $100,000 on some levels is a lot of money, but then on another level, it's not a lot of money. And so one of the goals is really to try to understand what works. And
Marshawn, I would say this, that's very important because we want to understand the money that we're investing in the community is actually working. And so for us, that's meaningful. And so what we need in this collaboration and really a partnership with the organization that will be awarded this $100,000 is to understand their processes. We need to document everything because the idea is if this works, then we can go out there and really highlight and showcase to everyone else looking to invest that this works. The idea of connecting business to philanthropy, right? It benefits everyone. And as a tax accountant, not only does it benefit the business owner from a return on investment on the tax side, but really a humanity side. And that in this, we're providing two different options, right? Housing, some level of housing, which is a concern in Indiana, right? Just the idea of being in a safe, affordable place. And we hope that nonprofit, the partnership between nonprofit and for-profit allows us to create a space where workforce, the labor force can be impacted positively. But I can tell you from my personal testimony, it's difficult to find good talent in very specified fields, and we hope that through this we have a level of curiosity between 7th, 8th graders as they matriculate through high school and college, that we can say down the line 10, 15, 20 years from now that we as business owners created that impact and that swell of a labor force. For the African American Legacy Fund, we want to partner with anyone who believes that the Black community has some of the best and creative ways to bridge some of the gaps that we have in the Black community.
We are Black donors engaged in a conversation with the larger philanthropic community. And so we're hopeful that as we go through this process, we'll continue to have the opportunity to both attract donors, but more importantly, to have an impact and stay engaged in communication with the larger philanthropic system.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And also, although we said $2,000, we do have this idea of every dollar has dignity, and that was very intentional because what we do know in the African American community is we give more proportionate of our disposable income than any other racial group. We want to make sure that this is a community fund, that it's not reserved for just those who just have a lot of disposable income, but it is reserved for anyone who believes in helping the greater Indianapolis community.
If you'd like more information about accessing capital, visit us online at BEOshow.com. While you're there, sign up for our newsletter for more resources. Each week on Business Equity and Opportunities, we share a success story from one of our business contributors in the hopes of inspiring entrepreneurs and small business owners to keep their dreams alive and keep following them. Today, we introduce you to a local CEO making big headlines.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities Success Story.
I ended up going to Vincennes University for a couple years, an architectural school, and then I transferred to actually Purdue in the construction school. Construction's just always been a real passion for me. And just very fortunate, I was in a couple student chapter organizations, and Associated Builders and Contractors was one that I spent a lot of time with. And so we were raising money to go to a national ABC competition. And it was at a golf outing. And I'm sitting there waiting on a contractor that sponsored me. It just so happened that it was John Gaylor with Gaylor Electric, the founder of this organization, a guy that put blood, sweat, and tears into this thing to make it where it was. And so he hired me on that golf course as an intern. So I worked here a couple years as an intern while I was in college and learned really kind of the business. He set me up and pushed, I went to a lot of different locations. And then when I came to work here full time, I started estimating. I worked through operations, I worked through regional management and those kind of things. And so really, I've done just about every job that exists at Gaylor. During that path, I actually went through apprenticeship school for Associated Builders and Contractors. And so I graduated as an employee of Gaylor. And that foundation of lifelong education really prompted me and moved me through the organization, as I did about every job, as I said. And I became a vice president. And then in 2014, John was getting ready to retire. And I put an ownership buyout plan together, and I purchased 49% of it in 2014. And then in 2017, I bought the rest of the organization. So it's been an unbelievable experience at Gaylor. We started out as an experiment. We continue that on about investing in our folks. And so that's kind of where I end up today as a president and CEO. All these folks that really come into the industry, or even just life experiences, mentorship is a huge deal. We literally have teams of Gaylor folks, and they're assigned to make sure they mentor each individual. You think about how it works in the trade. You have an apprentice that actually works with journeymen, and they actually learn the skills of a journeyman on the job with on-the-job training hours. And these young folks, or even folks that have been retrained in careers, because when we went through the recession back in the 10, a lot of people retrained and became a tradesperson. So that mentorship, not only in building the jobs, in engineering and back in our manufacturing shop, got to have that person that has that experience. I mean, that experience, that physical, looking at that experience, training and educating our folks that are just learning it. I mean, our innovation shop, every one of those high school students are assigned a mentor and a supervisor and a job coach. Over the years, for a long time I built projects, and I loved building projects. I mean, when we drive down the road and I tell my kids, I'm like, hey, I was part of building that job. And, that went on for a long time, and I'm still very proud of that for our company, and you can probably see the Gaylor trailers throughout the state of Indiana. Now it's about developing people. This is nothing but a people business, and we spend a lot of time in developing people. I got a great executive committee team that literally runs their departments by developing people. And for me, the passion really is the young people in our world. I spend a tremendous amount of time in schools, colleges, just helping folks mentor, helping folks part of their education, getting them into the apprenticeship school, our career centers. And so education and developing people are really what I jump out of bed for in the morning.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV, or live stream it through WishTV.com. Each week, we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.